Hello and thank you for joining us again for another program of InfoHub Extended. On this week's show, we will be looking at the recently concluded Small Business Bureau's In-School Entrepreneurship Fund. As part of efforts to promote entrepreneurship among young people, the Small Business Bureau piloted a new program called the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund.
Shemaine Headley, Research and Marketing Officer at the Small Business Bureau, who headed up the program, says it was conceptualized in 2016.
October of 2016, I visited St. Ignatius Secondary. There I met with some teachers just for a general discussion, but we ended up talking about the Small Business Bureau and some of the programs we offer. Out of that came a discussion for us to meet with students just to share some information regarding entrepreneurship, business development, career plans, and things like that related to business. Following a discussion with the office after that visit, we decided to not only implement this program to include the discussions for students, but we wanted to amp it up a bit, give some more opportunities to students, because one of the things we were looking at that time was the high unemployment rate for youth in Guyana. So we decided to include some funding.
Following the approval of the Ministry of Education, the Small Business Bureau launched the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund in 15 secondary schools across Guyana in October 2017. Headley says the program targeted grades 10 and 11 students.
From that, the students selected their business projects. We wanted to work in tandem with the SBAs and particularly subject areas that required some kind of capital investment and also that were directly related to business ideas. So we selected the business students, home economics, agricultural science, and for a few schools they asked for building technology students.
The In-School Entrepreneurship Fund provided $30,000 as an investment for the students to convert their school-based assessments into actual businesses and manage it for a school term.
One of the things in our initial discussion, it was just to issue these grants to the students, see how they work with the business plans or business challenges in their SBAs, see how it affects their understanding of the programs that they're doing and things like that. We just wanted to give the students an opportunity to do something, but coming out of that, some of the other social issues were met for families, for communities. And so we are very proud of what the program has turned out to be. We are going to commence the second phase shortly after our wrap-up.
As the pilot program wraps up, Headley says 99 students from 13 schools actually completed the program. Headley adds the pilot was a tremendous success.
I expected, honestly, I'll be honest, to have a lot of losses. This was a pilot program that involved youth, a lot of them who have never had any type of business experience other than in the classroom setting. So we were looking for a lot of losses, except we wanted them to have the experience of managing a business so that when they're a little older, they have already went through that stage. So they're able to understand what they should or shouldn't do when they get to that stage. However, with the $30,000 grant, there was some skepticism, like what could you really do with $30,000 as it relates to a business? But they were able to use that money, put it to some tremendous usage. Many of them did not even use the full $30,000, but were able to do exceptionally well projects with that money. And we have not had any major losses from the program.
2 schools from Region 9 participated in the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund pilot. The students of Ishalton and St. Ignatius Secondary shared their experiences.
At Ishalton Secondary School, 10 students were selected to be beneficiaries of the $30,000 provided under the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund pilot. Most of them successfully doubled their investment. Business teacher and supervisor for some of the students, Del Joseph, says he was impressed with the students' managerial skills.
The students, they were actually good managers because they managed their schoolwork with their business time. And so there was no conflict whatsoever with that. And I need you to... Right? That showed everyone that these students they're good managers and aspiring entrepreneurs in the future.
Suswa Winter said the business was challenging, but it was a challenge she welcomed. The home economics student opened a food business she named Sue's Quick Bites.
To able to management is one of the main things that I learned from this business, and when I began to sell, I was like ashamed at first to be like, "Hi, selling pizza," and it was like embarrassing to me. But I learned that whenever you want to do a business, it's about selling, and you're not supposed to be shy, and that's the one thing I would take away too. So it's managing my business and balancing my skill and not being shy.
Clint Richards was one of the students whose profit doubled the investment he received. He says his business was the sale of vehicle lubricants in his community.
The reason why I chose this area is because back in home in my village, that there are many motorcycles that go to the bush mines so that when they come, during the rain season time especially, that when they dock their motorbikes or their engine, the oil normally turn white and they need to change it. So that's why I chose that area, because I see it to be beneficial for me, and the business will go fast. I mean, it will be a good investment.
15-year-old Richard says running his own business has been a learning experience.
It's a good idea that the Small Business Bureau give us this grant to start our small business. And during this business, I experienced other challenges, like making a report. At first, I didn't know how to make the report, but after I got accustomed and I got acquainted with the things that we have to do, and I eventually get accustomed doing the reports. But beside that, I experienced handling my own business. I mean, it's a good experience that I had.
Amanda Nigafuk ran a printery business, while Vianney Henry's business venture was the sale of school uniforms and stationery. They shared what the experience has been like for them.
I lost, yes, but at least I tried, and I learned to cope with my work. At the same time, it was good.
I thought managing a business would be easy, but as I went on, I found it challenging, but rather a good experience.
Over at the St. Ignatius Secondary School, 11 students participated in the program. Amisha Ramdin, an agriculture science student, says the fund was a financial boost.
My project was basically agro-processing, where I dealt with fruits from my community and I preserved them, making jams, jellies, etc. The 30,000 grant was really helpful because, well, money don't drop from the sky. And it really helped in buying stuff. It was a great head start.
15-year-old Derek Ram says he was able to use his school knowledge in the management of his cake business.
I know to do more, and from the work that was given at school, I use that sort of knowledge to enhance my business, to upgrade it.
Mariam Faria sold arts and crafts she created.
I think I did well. I got most of them sold at Rupununi Expo. Still get some sold presently.
Dawn Nigafuk planted crops for sale. She says it was a challenging experience.
It was okay for me, but there were some cutbacks where plants started to die, and there were pests and other diseases, scrub disease.
Many students took the initiative and advertised in their communities. The parents were also instrumental in the management of the business. Janice Torres, mother of Amisha Ramdin, says she was initially skeptical about the program, but decided to give the pilot a try.
It was an experience. I've never done a business, so it was all a learning process for me, and I'm always supportive of my daughter's education and all of her endeavors, so we work together. Getting a grant is very helpful when you want to educate your child. It's very helpful.
Leslyn Winter, mother of Suswa Winter, said the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund is a good initiative that can benefit the community as a whole.
Some children's parents cannot afford to pay CXC in our communities here. Even here, there are so many dropouts because of that, I think.
And if this can go on, it would help some students maybe to stay and to help pay their CXC fees, as Sir the HM was saying. So it can help a lot if they put more. Like I said, she's on this scholarship, and I said maybe it should have been given to some other child who was not fortunate, so it can help them. So maybe next time they can give children who are not on this scholarship, so it will help them, and maybe it will push them maybe to do their work, because I see a lot of dropouts in this school from here because of income.
Teachers who participated in the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund have lauded the initiative, even as the Small Business Bureau looks at how it can support teachers in next year's program.
Head teacher of the St. Ignatius Secondary School, Yvette Archer, said that the program was very beneficial, especially for the students.
They were exposed to business, how they can invest and use money to turn over, which is a drive that the government of Guyana is pushing for, entrepreneurship. So these children were exposed to that a whole lot. In addition to that, the CXC is now on the drive to have children. For the matter of fact, they have tailored the SBA to be more practical oriented and not so much theoretical. So this is an opportunity where the children were able to be exposed into having their own business structured and see it run. So in addition to the financial aspect of it, where they can earn a little, they also were exposed to how business is done.
Archer said she would like to see the program continued.
There were lots of trial and errors here and there and so on until they grasped their grounds. And I think giving us another round of this with the experiences that they would have garnered over time, the teachers and the students will have now a better idea or a little more confidence in how they're going to approach it in the future.
Head teacher of the I. Shelton Secondary School, Leon Jones, said he hopes the profits is used towards the students' CXC.
It's an investment in their future. It's a school project, it's a school fund project, so which is the best place to put it? Towards their CXC. That will guarantee them a bright and prosperous future. It's good to have a business, but if you cannot manage that business, your business will go under after a few months. And only with education you can manage your business successfully.
Adina Ben, an information technology teacher at St. Ignatius Secondary, coordinated the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund program at her school. She said the program was better than she could have expected.
The students surprised me. I didn't know what to expect, much as I thought it would be a great project. They surprised me because they went beyond my expectations. You know, the things I was seeing coming out in terms of their the scope of their business, people getting their T-shirts with logos, and the way they went about the things that they were developing. They were pretty professional in their products. You know, how they made it, the labels they were making, and the posters they were creating for it and so forth, right? In that way, I thought they went beyond my expectations.
Del Joseph, business teacher at I. Shelton Secondary School, welcomed the program.
We are very grateful for the program and this initiative.
However, the program was not without its challenges.
I think that there needs to be somebody continuously managing this project, right? I think that's one of the things that need to be in place. Because you see, as Ms. Archwood said earlier, they are children. And they need somebody now and again to just hold their hands and say, you know, it's okay, like on a daily basis, to check on them and make sure, give them the guidance every day. In that way, that was my role, but there were times when it wasn't that easy because I had other things to do.
Shemaine Headley, who is spearheading the program from the Small Business Bureau, says these challenges will be taken into account for next year's program.
One of the things we did not look at any sort of support for the teachers who would be playing an extra role by facilitating this program. And so that's something we also realized we had to look at. For some of the schools, they chose programs that they did not have facilities to deal with, and that's something we were able to also look at. And going forward, I know we'll have some other challenges coming out, but we've learned so much from the pilot that we're able to be dynamic, be flexible, so that we could meet the needs of the students, the teachers, and the communities, while we try to ensure that through Small Business Bureau, we were able to promote entrepreneurship in the communities.
Headley said that the Small Business Bureau will be reviewing and reworking the program for next year.
So looking at it, we decided to do for the second phase, we're going to start with a 3-month period. So instead of, because at first we thought 6 months, we were going from September, October of last year to until March, April of 2018. But now we're going to look at 3 months and see how that works. I think it would be much better for the students. It's a shorter duration. It gives them more time to focus on other things while working in the business. Of course, the 3 months is just for the actual project, but they're able to continue the business years beyond our project end date.
This brings us to the end of another edition of InfoHub Extended, where we shone the spotlight on the Small Business Bureau's In-School Entrepreneurship Fund. Thanks for watching. Please join us again next week at the same time.